The narcissist remembers your relationship very differently than you do. They do not understand or recognize how much damage they did or the abuse that they inflicted on you, even if they're actively trying to destroy you. Because in order to understand this, you need a few things, like empathy, the ability to honestly and truly self-reflect, the ability or willingness to take accountability, which they cannot or will not do. In fact, they pathologically blame shift, avoid accountability, minimize, rationalize, justify, and rewrite history to protect themselves from doing any of those things. In fact, they genuinely believe that they're the victim and that you treated them badly, even if they were actively, horrifically abusing you. They genuinely think that they're the one that was wronged, and that anything they did do to you, firstly, wasn't that bad, and secondly, was something that you made them do. It was just retaliation in their mind for something that you did, even if it's something that didn't actually happen. They screamed at you for hours as just retaliation for a facial expression that they actively misinterpreted. They do not and will not ever actually understand the damage that they did to you in that relationship, because they can't. They don't have the capability or the willingness. And they absolutely do not recognize the psychological and emotional damage that they did to you, the psychological and emotional abuse. So if they didn't put their hands on you, then in their mind, they absolutely never abused you at all, ever. And if they did put their hands on you, if they beat you badly, in their mind, they may have shoved you a little bit. Do you know what I'm saying? This is how they look back on the relationship. Would be something like, oh, you know, I wasn't the best to that person at times. And they're unlikely to even take that much accountability for it. In fact, they're most likely telling everyone that you did to them the things that they actually did to you, and that they were abused and that you were abusive. And if they are actively trying to destroy you, they still don't understand the extent of the damage they're doing you, because you need a level of empathy to understand the damage you're doing to someone, and they see you as an object. When they're destroying you, you are bad object or persecutory object in their mind. You are an object in their mind. You are not an individual person with your own thoughts, feelings, needs, desires. They don't recognize you as those things. They see you as an object, and they don't recognize objects as having feelings. They have cognitive empathy, but not felt empathy. So they remember your relationship very differently to how you remember it. And they don't recognize themselves as an abuser, because whatever they did to you wasn't happening to them. They're the only person in their world. They're the only one who truly feels or truly suffers, and who could ever truly be a victim. And they are the perpetual victim in every situation. And whatever you did to them was so much worse than anything they'd ever done to you, because what you did to them was happening to them, and they are the only person who counts. So while they could have done something absolutely horrific to you, it doesn't count, because it wasn't happening to them. And the reason that you, in their imagination, smirking at them, was worse is because it happened to them. And abusers in general, not just narcissists, although most abusers have a strong narcissistic streak, have this same level of justification, rationalization, blame shifting, and the active rewriting of the way that things happened that protects them in their own mind from any kind of accountability and from seeing themselves as an abuser. The narcissist looks back on your relationship very differently than how you look back on it. And you could have actively loved and adored them and done everything for them, given them everything, bent over backwards, walked on eggshells, given everything, literally, your resources, your time, your money, your love, your services. And they still will have rewritten and justified how they treated you and made you the bad guy and the enemy and themselves the victim. And they look back on the relationship through that lens. And if you're new here, I'm a narcissistic abuse educator and a narcissistic relationship recovery coach. Make sure you hit follow and you can book a coaching session with me through the link in my bio. Also jump across to YouTube and follow me there.